Budda, you're playing this Jags team that in your career you've only faced twice, and historically the Cardinals have only played like 6 times. How different is it in terms of the preparation when you are playing a team that is kind of rare that you match up against them?
Yeah, I mean, we just go by what we see on film. Great quarterback, guy who can throw out inside the pocket, outside the pocket. Great run game with Etienne. Back in the day when he was young, I remember using him on NCAA. I was like, yeah, I like this guy. So, great running back, fast twitch guy. Great team. Another opportunity for us to show a better brand of football on the field on Sunday.
Last time he played Trevor Lawrence, third game of his rookie year, right? So now 4 years later, how different is he on film, and what do you remember then? How much applies now?
Yeah, back in the day, I just remember how, his arm, he had a real strong arm. He can make all the tight throws and the intermediate and the deep passes. And now, it's kind of the same thing. They do a great job of understanding defenses and, not throwing the ball when he doesn't need to. He take off and run and scramble. So, a guy who's all around great QB, and a guy we're going to have our eyes on because he can make all the throws, but also he's real good at scrambling and get those first yards, get those extra yards. Sometimes he doesn't really slide. He kind of puts his shoulder down or dives, and that's something where hopefully he learns from that. But hopefully he slides because as a defensive player, it's hard to have a quarterback who doesn't really give up. He kind of just keeps running. So for us, we just gotta have that mentality to treat him like he's a running back kind of, and just if he gets past the line of scrimmage to run the ball, we gotta hit him. He has to do a good job of getting down. That's a big thing that I've seen, that he's kind of running over DBs and diving forward and getting those extra tough yards. But as one of those big money quarterbacks, you got to learn how to get down. So we'll see.
How tough is that as a defender? Because they protect quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're asking yourself probably to the very last moment, is he sliding, is he not?
Yeah.
That's got to be difficult.
It's very difficult, especially in this NFL right now, where QBs get a lot of calls, and it's very difficult on the sideline in the middle of the field. He might seems like he has a couple of plays where he seemed like he was sliding, but he got those extra yards and dived for the first down. So it's real hard on us. It's just something that we're gonna have to communicate. I play full speed, so if I'm running full speed and I kind of had that situation happen one game where I'm running full speed. I think it was with Dak, and it's like I could hit him, but he's also not really sliding until the last second. So for us, it's just we got to be smart in those areas and not get those 15-yard penalties, and kind of just hope they kind of slide.
Prior to the previous 2 games, you guys haven't given up a lot of points, although a good amount of those points have come, turnovers by the offense or special teams. But for the defense, what's the most crucial part against the Jags to keep them out of the end zone?
Yeah, it's just doing our job no matter where we're at on the field. The last few weeks kind of had short fields, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We have an opportunity to either get off the field or get them to get a field goal. That's our main goal. So, especially this week, they got a great kicker. I think he hit the longest field goal in NFL history. So, as soon as they get to that 50-yard line, it's like the kicker can get it there. So for us, it's just being able to take it one play at a time, and if they get the ball on their minus field, to try and take it one play at a time and get them the punt. But if they get the ball on the opposite 50, just try to only limit them to get a field goal. So that's the main thing, just doing our job, taking it one play at a time, understanding we know they have a great kicker who can kick all the distances. So just being able to try and get those stops when they're backed up for sure.
They didn't punt once last week. Is there anything that stands out from Jacksonville on 3rd or 4th down that they're really good at?
This tree's kind of the same tree as the Shanahans, the Sean McVays, so they do a great job of, just their route concepts. They're really good at, seeing cover 4 and doing a cover 4 beater, seeing cover 3 and doing a cover 3 beater. So it's just going to be on us as a DBs to disguise and, do kind of the things that we do in order for them to not really understand what the play is, pre-snap. So if we can get moving, he looks up, he sees the coverage, and then as soon as he snaps the ball and sees a different coverage, that's something that, of course, we try to do week in and week out with every team, but this team especially.
Injuries, I know, are part of the game, but you guys have 4 captains that are on injured reserve.
Yeah.
Being one of the captains that is out and in the locker room, on the field with the guys, does that put a little bit more pressure on you maybe to speak up and make sure that the guys are staying, locked in, considering what the record's been in the last handful of losses?
Yeah, I think we have a great group of guys, a great group of young guys, great group of veterans that, understand that this game is a process. And, you can be mad about, the loss that you had that day of, or maybe even a little bit the next day. But after that, it's, you're on to the next week. Each and every week is a new opportunity to work hard and grind throughout the week and to get a W. So for us, guys down on Sunday after the loss, Monday maybe a little bit coming into work, but, coming in maybe Tuesday on off day or Wednesday, it's like it's a fresh slate. It's a whole new opportunity. So, I think the leaders do a great job of that, and also the players on the team are real great players that understand that and just understand at the end of the day we want to work throughout the week to ultimately try to get a win on Sundays. So, me and Calais was talking to me about it. It was crazy when we were doing the coin toss. It was like, it's down to 3 of us. So that's definitely something that's kind of weird, but at the end of the day, it's our job to continue to just do our job and try to lead the guys as best as we can.
Who are some of the guys that might not have the C on their chest that are still being those vocal leaders?
Cody, of course, he's a rookie, but we also, he has the green dot. So, you got to listen to Cody, and he does a great job of getting us the calls and, just getting us aligned. And, guys like that, Jacoby, of course, great quarterback guy, communicates all the time. And, at the end of the day, we all understand this is our job, but we all want to win, So in order for us to win, we got to work harder throughout the week. And, on Sundays, just got to let it loose, do our job, be on the details, and take one play at a time. And don't matter where you're at on the field, just play football and, on defense, try to limit them, and on offense, try to score.
The 17 penalties, there were only 7 the previous 2 games combined.
Yeah.
So what happened? How do you diagnose it, and what's the solution?
Yeah. I don't even want to go about the flag situation. At the end of the day, we just got to be better. We got to be cleaner. We got reps on the field during practice, and we just got to be able to, coach ourselves not to do those things. JG talks about it all throughout the week. So it's something that we know and something that we can do better. So that's the main goal, is for us to just not commit those, especially pre-snap penalties and stuff like that. There might be a post-snap penalty hold here and there, but not 17 flags worth. So we got to do better as a group, as a team.
We saw Will Johnson on the field today.
Yeah.
What would his return mean for the secondary?
Will's a great cornerback. It would mean a lot. I know this is his first day back getting on the field. He looked great, but at the end of the day, however, his body, treats him the next day is how it's going to be. But, having 0 on the field is definitely cool. He's getting better. He had some scout team reps today, then going against our one offense that, he looked real good at, and me, I'm like a big bro. We all got the same agent, so I'm always talking smack like, man, you were never injured. You're good right now. You can play, like you run, you can play. But, he's one of those guys that is a perfectionist and a guy who works very hard as a rookie, and sky's the limit for that guy.
For quite some time. I don't know, have you been in touch this week, or are you just going to wait to say something pre or post game to him?
Yeah, I'm never in touch with the other team, never, no matter what. It can be my brother, I would never talk to the other team pre-game or maybe even a little post game. But Dennis, man, real great guy, a guy who did his job each and every time he was out here. He was limited to special teams at the time, had a little bit of defensive play, but a guy who was always honed in on the details and, gave a lot of fire to the team. He was a real energy guy as well. So I know he's going to come in here and, be excited to play against the guys that, he kind of started with, and it would be cool to see him after the game and chat with him a little bit, but he's on the other side.